I'm so busy trying to get on this dang webinar. It's driving me nuts. Let me see. So what happened? We're still doing the same thing. Okay, so. Okay, let me see.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna sign in and see what happens. What is
And what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna shoot you the call-in number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call in because I.
All right, we're working through some technical difficulties, but we're getting it all together. Bear with us. Start inviting people, letting them know we're gonna have an amazing call. Sierra, can you speak so I can see if I can hear you okay? Is your microphone unmuted? Your camera's off. Okay, your camera's on, but try. Can you speak? I see you. I hear that. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, good. That's much better. I can hear you. Hey, so let me get her. I'm not sure. We're trying to get Michelle on, guys. Bear with us. Let's see what's going on here. All right. You can start sharing. Giving everybody an opportunity to hop on YouTube.
I'm gonna make sure the wind is not.
Thank you for being on, everyone. We're trying to get Michelle on. Could not get her camera on, so we're just working through that, but we wanted to let you guys know that we were still here, going live. Worst case scenario, we'll have to have her call in. But we have Sierra with us, who is my publisher, as well as Michelle Dennis, publisher. She's how I had the opportunity to meet Michelle and just hear more about her story. We definitely wanted to make sure we had her on here. I am seeing one last time if we can get her set up on camera. If not, she'll have to dial in. How's your Monday, Sierra?
So far, so good. Excited. Woke up in beautiful Miami.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Excited about this call to introduce Michelle to the network and give everybody more insight about her and her book, and her philanthropy, and all of that good stuff. Preparing for Christmas.
Yeah, of course. Getting ready. When do you head back home?
Like 6 in the morning. I'm gonna be here working. I meet my last client tonight, so I'll head back home early in the morning.
Awesome.
Just time to get with family and prepare.
So just real quick, while people are logging in and we're getting Michelle set up, just let them know a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then hopefully we'll have her up on the line by then.
Absolutely. So you guys, for those of you who don't know, my name is Sierra Range Jones. I'm an author, I'm a ghostwriter, I'm an author coach, and I'm the CEO of Live Limitless Authors Academy and Publishing Company. What I do well is help women and men craft their signature stories, develop their core message, and then pretty much launch their brand story. My company uses the building business model by through books. So you write your book, you tell your story, you develop your content, and use your packaged book as a launching pad to launch your business, to launch your brand, to launch live events or whatever is a great fit for your particular message and your particular audience. And so I'm definitely blessed to be able to travel all over the world working with individuals to help them do just that. I'm a proud member of CEO Chicks. And I'm excited about connecting with other female entrepreneurs and women who are legacy builders, women who are in the game of learning and growing and becoming their best selves, women who transcend empowerment and dive into equipping themselves with the tools and resources to grow and stretch and implement and develop, all the fundamentals of what it looks like to actually build a big business. And so I'm definitely super excited to be a part of a network that provides the tools and resources to do just that.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. So I think I have her on. Huh?
Is she on?
Let me see. I think so.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yay, we can hear you.
Oh, here I am. It was rough. Getting on the
But we
line,
made
here I
it.
am. Okay. We made it, yes.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Thank you. So Sierra was just sharing a little bit about just what she does and how you guys met. And so I'm super excited to have everyone on here. I know it took a little bit to get you on the line, but there's some background noise. Is that?
Right, some opera or something going on.
What is it?
I don't even, it's a song or something going on in the background.
Are there boats with music or something?
Yes, girl, I'm out here by the water. Is that better? Is that better?
Yes, it's better.
All right, awesome. So happy Monday, CEO Chicks.
Yes, happy Monday. Happy Monday.
1 second. Let me just get everything together here. Does it allow you? I can see her. I don't want to see her number. Let's go into it. Let's get started. I don't want to hold the time any longer. But just talk a little bit about how you guys met. Share with us how the connection even came about.
Absolutely. So when I came down to Miami, I was able to connect with celebrity interior designer Monica Selesky, who's well connected in the Miami area. She has built an empire through design. She's definitely a powerhouse in the city. And so she was my first client. You guys met her on one of the previous webinars. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And so through working with her, I was able to meet Michelle at this location called Casa Tua, which is a very popular restaurant that a lot of the local entrepreneurs and business owners gather throughout the day. And she was there with Monica, of course. Monica had designed her home. And so when she mentioned to Monica that she wanted to write a book, and it just so happens that Divine Alignment, I had already been working with Monica. It was a great experience. And so naturally, she referred Michelle over to me. I remember our very first conversation at Casa Tua. We were sitting at the bar at Casa Tua, and she just began to tell me about her story and how she wanted to present her story to the world. And just naturally, we just began to connect and speak. And just instantly, it was very evident, both of us, that it was just a really great fit. And so we just kind of got to work immediately, and we were able to complete her book in about 60 days. It was a great process. And, the book has recently launched, and we've been able to go on and partner with adoption agencies. And we have our first book signing coming up in Barnes and Noble. So just so many great opportunities that have come from Michelle just saying yes to her goals and yes to her future and yes to her purpose of using her story and all the things that she's gone through to be a voice of empowerment, a voice of inspiration, and a voice of hope for other youth who find themselves struggling through the pain points and the trauma of the foster care system and the abandonment of adoption. So she's definitely using her platform and her voice to inspire hope, and most of all, to inspire healing. And that's pretty much it. It's been a great process thus far. I'm just really confident and really excited, really proud of the project.
Yes. And so
thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that.
Tell us, Michelle, just tell us a little bit of what it's been like, just working with Sierra and digging and doing that, kind of reflecting back to just bringing your story, kind of back to your memory and writing it. And I've heard so many different authors talk about reliving those moments when they're telling their story and just how difficult it can be, but having the right person, alongside you as a coach and just really getting that out on paper. What was it like for you?
Well, just the process of it was a little intense because I'm telling a stranger my business, so to start off, we're actually now good friends, but when I first sat down with her and Catherine Wald, which is the therapist that actually did the clinical side of the book, when I sat down to even discuss it, I was like, it was rough because it's me telling strangers my personal business, but, it turned out really well. But, I've always had this thing, from back when I was a child, till now, that I had these stories that I wanted to tell. So it was one of those things that I finally got to put it on paper, but it took a while. But I had to go through a trial and tribulation to even do this book. Because if I didn't go through it, it wouldn't have been right. So it was actually, I didn't realize it was going to take only 60 days to even do a book. What I heard was it takes 2 to 3 years to even finish a book. But we knocked it out. I guess the stories and her background being working in a detention center actually fit perfect, and her mother even being a foster child. So it was easy for her to write it, to help me write this book. So that's how, it was just a easy step to do.
That's so amazing.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? Because on my end, it's talking to me. My phone's talking to me. So. Oh,
wonderful.
It keeps telling me we're recording. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. We had to just kind of pull you over as allow you to talk and all that good stuff, so we could at least hear you on today's line. But definitely just give a more of a background about just who you are,
where I started, okay,
what you do, and just kind of where you started.
Okay, so when I was 6 years old, my mother gave my brothers and I away. She actually dropped us off at a foster agency. From there, we were put into a foster home where I was molested with 2 of their older siblings, which happened to be 16 and 21. And that was a huge, from just my mother giving me away and trying to transition into, being apart from her to being in a place where now someone's taking my, you know, my innocence was, you know, devastating for me, you know. So I had a lot of issues, you know, as a child, but I always had a good heart the whole way through. And then, you know, from there, I transitioned to being adopted, which I was in a place where it was mental and physical abuse. You know, so it was another thing. So it was one thing after the other, you know, and then dealing from that, you know, then I was out on my own at the age of 18. It was a done deal. There was no turning back for me. So, you know, I had to learn my own ways of doing things. And, you know, just looking back, you know, it was, you know, everybody has to go through something. You can't tell a story if you don't have anything to tell. So I just put everything that I had and tried to cram it into this book, even though there's so much more about me that I didn't put in the book, because we all have our own traumas and we all deal with our own levels of pain. But I had to put, so doing this book, I actually just wanted to write the book just for myself. But then I thought about it, you know, I started going to therapy and I realized how expensive it was. And I was, you know, not everybody can afford it. So I decided to add Catherine Wald, which is a therapist here in Miami, to put her clinical side to it, to give people, you know, just a stepping stone to get some type of help to move forward with their lives.
Yeah, wow, that's absolutely powerful. I'm so grateful that you decided to do that. I love that spin on having that clinical perspective there, you know, especially in our communities where it seems like mental health and talking about or fear of being labeled crazy or whatever the case is, you know, that being just taboo. So I think that's so awesome that you guys brought that piece in writing the book. What has some of the feedback been? Have people been able to kind of like just dive right in and kind of get some feedback to you yet? I know you're still in the launch phase. Have you gotten any word from anyone on what it's?
I actually have, you know, people that I've went to high school with, and, you know, a lot of feedback from people that I've known in my past have bought the book, and they were like, wow, that knew where I came from, you know, not necessarily knew everything about what I put in the book, but they saw my transition, you know, and they were like, it's the most amazing thing that they've read. And it's such an easy read. It's, you know, it's, it gives you a story, and I tried to fix you before the next chapter. You know, it's it's just like a quick fix, just to get you, you know, get your mind, you know, stirring in the right direction to go get some serious help if you need it, you know. And it's not necessarily the clinical part is, it's to help you. It's not necessarily someone being crazy or anything. It's just dealing with your problems.
Yeah, yeah. I had
you know?
the privileged guys that you guys that are watching Michelle in her zone. I went with her and Sierra just this week. I don't know what day it is. I know it's Monday because that's when we do calls, but it seems like the days are just all like mashing together. But and I had the opportunity of sitting at the Devereaux, like, what is the services called? Childcare. They do so much. So I know they do
it's a foster care
I know they
facility.
do
Like foster care and group home facilities.
group homes. And so we had the opportunity to tour the space, and Michelle spoke to the young girls just about her story. And we got on the topic of healing and just talking about, you know, still being in that healing process. And so if you could just for a second take us to the moment where you said, before writing the book, and you said, you know what, I'm going to get there. Is that?
I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
So talk to us a little bit about that moment when you said, you know what, I need to heal. I'm in the healing process. I'm going to go to therapy. Like, what were some of the things that made you decide that? Because that's a big decision.
Well, what happened is that I've never lived with anybody, so I've always lived by myself. And I finally got into a relationship and realized that there were certain things that I needed to fix within myself. So I end up going to, a relationship therapist.
Mm.
And she goes, she let me know that you have, some issues that need to be fixed. Your past needs to be fixed. And that's when I realized that I had bigger issues, because, I've never been to a therapist. That was the first time. And I was like, you know what? It's easier for you to go and sit down with someone that's licensed and talk your problems out, because, you sitting talking to your friends, and we all have our own issues, so it's like, you really can't ask somebody that hasn't healed themselves for some help. You can't ask those questions. So it was one of those things that I was like, you know what, let me see what I got to fix. What do I need to fix? And realize that, you know what, this is something that I think every person that's been through some type of trauma, or, we're just dealing with just life period, should go and see what they need to work on. Because, I think, it's like I said, you can't go to somebody and tell somebody your deepest, darkest secrets, because you don't know if it's safe or not.
I love that. And that vulnerability has been the word of the season, just the importance of that vulnerability and transparency, having someone that you can really speak to on these things, and someone professional.
Right, professional
is the actual key word. So
yes.
You have an organization, like, you've been busy. So you have the book, you have an organization called Enough is Enough. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entire mission, vision, what is enough? It's enough, right?
Yeah, Enough is Enough Guru.
Awesome. So tell us what that's about.
Okay, so I started this years ago. I started it before I even knew it was going to be enough. So someone's always gave to me as a child. We've always had, through the foster system, or, just when I was adopted, we still were getting gifts from just random people that wanted to help. So I've always been, you know what, when I get older, I'm going to do the same. I actually started giving away clothes at the age of 18 to foster kids, and I just kept it going. Then I started doing toy drives, food banks, my whole life. I did it every year, and I just decided to go ahead and just put something together for myself and keep it going.
And just kind of like make it official.
Yeah, make it special where it's, coming from me, and the people that help me, get this, the Christmas toys. And I have, a few people that actually help me do things. Like, I do prom too. We pick a kid every year, and I pay for the prom. Last April, I raised money to help a kid that timed out to get an apartment. So I just, I just do this because, I just do this because I just enjoy doing it. It's not something that, I'm doing it just to be doing it. I do it because I enjoy it, and I remember who did for me and, helped me in my process of life and, of growing, and I have to keep it going. This is something that's been embedded in me since the day I started.
Wow. How long have you been doing Enough is Enough? How long have you had that in operation?
Oh, I'm sorry. 2012 is when I started it.
That's awesome.
2012.
So how can people get involved? Do you accept volunteers? Or how is it that people can participate?
Well, right now, I actually have a website that you can go to. Is Enough is Enough Guru, enoughisenough.guru. There's things that you can purchase, like I have hats, I have sweatshirts, I have T-shirts, and I'm actually going to add some more things to the website so you can have, pick and choose. But every dollar goes to a child in need. Nothing gets taken out. We take all the money proceeds and it all goes to someone that needs it.
That's amazing.
So,
oh my gosh. Okay.
yes.
So do you guys have an idea of how many kids you have been able to reach over the years?
For me, I've probably reached so many people. You have no idea. Last year, I probably put in like $100,000 worth of clothes to 2 different charities.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I can't do the head count on the kids, but just that alone, because I did the donated clothes that November, and then I did a toy drive for I think over 100 kids last year.
And it's spelled
I did.
UFF, right? Because it's not enough OUGA.
Yes,
okay.
It's ENUFF ISENUFF.guru.
Got it.
So,
Got it. Somebody said the power of one. Wow. As they're listening to you. You know what's so funny? I through the network, we do a lot of coaching. And so one particular lady comes to mind. I hope she's watching. She's in the beauty industry and she wants to really get her nonprofit off of the ground. And one of the things I hear you saying is, before it even became official, it's what you did. You just look to help someone, look to get involved somewhere, figure out what you can do to help someone else. And am I hearing that right? Because sometimes I think a lot of times we think we have to have all of these different things in place before we can get to the meat of what it is we want to do and love to do. And I try to take like not overcomplicating it, kind of out of the equation when I speak to entrepreneurs. And I'm like, do it. Start doing what you love to do, start going out there and impacting lives, and all the other things as you're learning, it's going to fall in place. You're going to attract what you need. People love to see results.
Right.
They love to see you moving and grooving and doing what it is you say you love to do. And so it sounds like that's how it went for you.
It did, actually. Well, see, the thing is if you don't necessarily have to have, your own organization. This is something that you have to just want to do for yourself. And that's what I did, and for me, it's like everybody, Michelle, well, you should, get, have a nonprofit. But the thing is, if you're too busy to work in a nonprofit, you need to partner with someone. So I used to what I do is I pick a charity that I like, and I donate to that charity. Every year it's a different charity, so that's how I spread my love around. I just pick a charity that's, the up and coming ones, or, that's been in there for a long time. It just all depends on how you want to do it, but that's what I used to do. So if you really are into it and you want to get into it, I say partner. All you have to do is make a phone call and you ask them what is it that they need for their facility or their food bank or, or their agency or whatever. And they'll give you the rundown of whatever it is that they have that you can provide for them. And that's how I did it.
I love that. I absolutely love it. And I know that is going to be wisdom to someone that's listening. It's like, get in there, start helping someone else, find out who in your community may be doing some of the same things that you desire to do. Partner up, collaborate. That's one of the number one things.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, collaboration, understanding how to work with someone, how to complement someone else. And so I just love that about you and what you guys are doing in that space. So one more question. We'll see, ladies that are watching, that are listening on YouTube Live, definitely jot down any questions you have for Michelle. We also have Sierra with us, who is the publisher and book coach, and really help women and men to get their stories out and on paper. So let's talk about this. you probably, it says you encourage a lot of self-care. Like if you go to her page, you're sitting there like, I should probably be doing what she's doing instead of watching her do it. Like I probably need to get my behind in the gym. That's probably
right. So, you know, my thing is that what helped me, you know, focus better and feel better about myself was to work out. Drink a lot of water too, number one. That actually clears out a lot of
issues.
Yeah, a lot of issues too. So just focus on yourself. And I've learned that, you know, we learn that the hard way. Sometimes you put all your focus on trying to help everybody else and you forget about yourself. And my thing is that I've always been a giver, and I'm like, okay, I got to give to me too, you know, and what I would give to myself is let me work out. Let me put some time in for me and take care of Michelle too, because if I can't help me, how am I supposed to help everybody else out? Yeah. And I've learned the hard way on this one now. Now, you know, it's easier said than done now. But I've always, you know, as long as I could work out, I've always been a person to go to the gym every single day. When I'm going through things, if I have time, I'm going to the gym because it clears my mind. I don't know about anybody else, but I know what it does for me, because that's the time where you don't think about anything but what you need to take care of at that moment. So that's what helps me. So I don't know about, you know, what could help somebody else out, but I know another thing, number one, drink water.
Like we
gotta drink the water.
We all could do that. We might not be able to box like Michelle, but you could drink
right.
some
right.
You could drink some water. Get those questions on there
yes.
late for Michelle before she has to go. I know it took us a little bit getting online here and getting her up and on the call, but definitely want to have any questions that you may have for her or Sierra about writing a book and just the entire process. What would you say, Michelle, to someone that might be watching, young adult, somebody may be watching with their mom today, or foster parent, adoption, you know, whatever age they went through this process, how would you encourage them, someone that's kind of having a hard time really getting past their trauma?
You know, first of all, they're going to have to find someone that they can trust to talk to, you know, and that's, you know, if they have someone that they can trust, that they can talk to, that's the number one step. From that step, then if you need some additional help, then I would really hope that you would get that help, you know, see a therapist or a psychotherapist, or, you know, try to get that additional help to clear, you know, just to get a peace of mind, to clear your mind.
Yeah, agreed. We have a question that came in for you, Sierra. How do we know when it's time for us to write a book?
That's a really great question. I would say when it's time to write a book, when you are on the other side of your story. Because I think the thing is, everybody wants to share their story. Sharing your story is great. I would always encourage, if you have a story, just to go ahead and start journaling. When you're ready to have because the book is not just your story. The book is a story, it's the content, it's the solution, and then it's the call to action. So it's okay to go ahead and start journaling now, but it's time to write your book when you realize that you have a solution to a pain point, when you realize that you can be the answer to a problem and you are on the other side of it. It's time to write a book when you realize that you have something that you can teach. You've lived through it, you've gone through it, and now you can be a voice to help someone else do the same thing. Journaling, I would encourage every day. Journaling is a form of self-love every day. And I just love how Michelle is such an advocate for just self-love. And I think it's so important for us to remember that self-love is a daily process. Like if you drink your water today and you work out today, tomorrow counts too. Like what are you going to do tomorrow? And so just from working with her, it just kind of encouraged me to ask myself every day, what did I do to love myself today? Did I establish my boundaries? Did I get 8 hours of sleep? You know, did I say no when I needed to? Did I say yes when I wanted to? Did I do something today that made me better? So self-love is a daily process. I'm just so excited about this book because like Michelle said, it gives that clinical insight. One of the takeaways I think is so important was how the book teaches you how to recognize your triggers. And then when you recognize your triggers, you can establish a boundary, you can establish a safe place to protect yourself and to prepare. So everybody has a story. It's time to write a book when you realize that you now have a solution.
That's great. I think that's
Exactly.
an amazing piece of advice, because sometimes it's like you read some books and you're just sitting in the problem and you just sitting in mess. Like, where are we going? Where's the story going? Like, there's no closure for the reader, you know? And I'm like, is there a part two?
And that's the thing. You want to give your reader closure. You don't want to take your reader into a dark space if you're not going to lift them up. Because now we're experiencing secondhand trauma. You know, I can't stand when I read a book and I'm just traumatized by the depths of the story, and you leave me there. Like, how did you come out? Are you still in it with me? And so I think we have to be mindful that we're not giving our readers secondhand trauma. And so that's why with the Authors Academy, we do encourage story, content, and then call to action.
Yeah.
The content is what you want your reader to walk away with. The story is just that situation that you've gone through, that bit of insight that makes your content more compelling. And then the call to action is an action step. What can your reader do to take a step today to get closer to the end result of what you're promising them that they can experience if they read your book? You know, when you write a book, you establish yourself as an expert, as a go-to, as a leader, as a voice. And so you need to be leading your readers somewhere, definitely out of their story, definitely out of the dark, definitely into a higher place of growth and transformation.
Yeah, I like that. Not only is this secondhand smoke, but it's secondhand trauma. Listen, okay?
Yes, it is the truth.
Secondhand trauma. What can someone expect? This is a question that I just want to answer for someone that I know watching this would be interested in knowing, because they ask me all the time, offline, off in the side, in the DM. What would that cost? What did this process cost? They may be thinking, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But they'll be surprised.
It's expensive.
Yeah, they'll be surprised, you know, at how much the therapy, I know, can be expensive, but writing the book, like when someone is writing a book, what can they prepare for? Does it depend on how much content they bring, you know, to the Authors Academy? Does it depend on what are the things that you're looking for that says this person's ready, both mentally, physically, financially, you know, to go to that next phase? And what would they should prepare to invest?
Wait, can I say something before Sierra speaks?
If they are a CEO chick, then of course we have really great rates for our CEO chicks. I find that the best preparation is our DIY campaign that we're getting ready to launch. And that takes you through an online course of 12 modules where you literally take that course, and by the time you're done, you have your 12 chapter outline for your book. And then from that point, we partner and go ahead and push it out by way of publishing, cover art design, editing, formatting, and then distribution for Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. That package, the online course, is super affordable. It's only, we actually got to get the pricing set for that. And so I'll send a link for you, Kaleem, to share with the audience, because we're still developing that. But I would say the most expensive part of the process is the time that you're going to need to invest to really do the work. I find that a lot of times people begin to write the story and they find themselves stuck. I've worked with several authors and we're writing the content, and I'm like, okay, so what did you learn from that? And it takes them a couple months to go back and revisit that to figure out what exactly did I learn. They you know, telling it and expressing it and having a safe space to talk about it is just that first step. And so I would say the most expensive part of this process is the time investment that's going to be required. Time for you to write, time for you to sort, time for you to reflect, time for you to get very clear, and time for you to even do some research. It takes work. So that's the most expensive part. In terms of the cost, I'm in a space right now where I'm just kind of transitioning to focus more on the value of something than the cost. Because if I understand that the value.
Wait, can I say something? Something? I said expensive, but I thought you were talking about therapy. I think therapy is more expensive than the book.
Yeah, I caught that. I know.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that.
It's okay. We just talking.
Right. I didn't want anybody to think that, you know, it's too expensive to write a book, but I mean, it just all depends on, you know, what type of book you're trying to write, you know?
Yeah, and how involved do you need
Exactly.
the team to be, you know? Because I know when I started working with Sierra, and I kind of want to give a price range even so people can kind of know, you know, like, okay, I know time's going to be needed, but the clearer the person is about what they're bringing. So when we worked together, my book was done. And so it was just a matter of kind of going through it and saying, you know, maybe we should spin it this way, spin it that way. And I know I've also brought clients to you that were not even sure where to go. You know what I mean? So there's just different customers, I'm sure. Because I even had people that say, I don't write. So they didn't feel like they were qualified because they're like, one, I'm not a writer. I was just sitting with one of our elite members that she knows she should do a book, but she's like, I'm not a writer. And I said, you know what?
Well, that was my case.
See? And so
That was
I
my
want
case.
people to know, like, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Like, there's still going to be
Right.
a process for you. But so that was your case. So you needed to speak it out, right?
Right. I had to speak it out, and she put it into words for me. So it's like I said, just because you don't write, there's someone there that, like, her team has, you know, someone to help you put it into words.
And that's the part that I really wanted to get out. Like, you know, what is that process like? Depends on the person and how ready they really are. And then you can kind of make an assessment of that. So the more involved Sierra and the team has to get, I'm sure the more value, of course, because that's more sweat equity at this point, you know. But I just find it to be the most amazing process. I think we should all leave this earth, which we shouldn't, I should say, before writing something and having something tangible for our children, because even our story will continue to still help people even long after we're gone. And I think that's the most amazing thing.
I totally agree. And so we do have different tiers. Like I have people that come to me and it's like, I want to write a book. I don't even know what the book is going to be about, but this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm thinking about. What do you think? And so we've even worked with people from that space. And it's just at that point, they would kind of start with the author coaching. And it takes about a couple phone calls. Sometimes it's been one phone call just to have me hear their voice. I'm listening to them and I'm just helping them develop a vision for their life and a vision for their experience. And so even that's the author coaching that we just transition. So it's so many different components. We're able to work with people wherever you are, whether you know you want to write a book, you're not quite sure what it is. I've had people, they knew they wanted to write a book. They weren't even clear about who was going to be for, what the title was going to be. And after that first call, I'm like, okay, this is your title. This is who needs your message. And this is how you can craft it. And so truly, the Authors Academy has been an expression of my gifts and business form. And I've literally just used my gifts and kind of developed a business around what it is that I do innately. And I help people see themselves in a different light. I help people, develop their vision, develop a site, and help them sort through their traumas and their pain and, see purpose on the other side of that. And so we have authors from every range, those who have the content ready, the manuscript ready, and they just need editing and formatting. We have people that say, I don't even have a title. I just know I want to write a book. And of course, they start from the author coaching aspect. So wherever you are, if that's something that you want to do, you're definitely able to reach out. And then we can see what we're able to do for you to help you achieve your book writing goals.
Got it. So we don't get a price range?
I would say
nope, it depends on the person.
Because I do so many things. I also do ghostwriting where I write the whole book. So it's going to be anywhere from $1,500 is our lowest package, of course. That's usually the rate that we offer just
that's
for
the ready,
so you're getting it at cost.
The ready person.
Yes, that's the $1,500 mark. That's our lowest offer. That comes, of course, when you're pretty much done all the work, and we're just doing the back office part of it. And we're up to $13,000, and that's when you just come say, I want to write a book, and I'm writing the book.
Good.
Yeah,
that is so good. Like,
that's still a cheap price. Listen, and she's still lowballing because I was priced something totally different, and I was like, what? Like, no, thank you. And then he didn't even have my vision right, so I couldn't go with him.
Listen,
so that's why I said
I'm over here putting Sierra on the spot. I'm over here putting her on the spot because I'm like, her rates are amazing. Her work is amazing. And so I'm like, that
Yeah.
value, it's definitely there. And so that's good. People need to know so they can come ready, you know, ready to do more work or ready to with the investment for her team to do most of the work. Which one you want?
Mhm.
You know.
Right.
So give us, Michelle, we're gonna close out. Give us a little bit about your just where you are and what we can expect 2020. I know you have an amazing book signing coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So my book signing will be January 4th here in Miami. I have
You there?
So the book signing, guys, is January 4th here in Miami. Let me tell you guys, I'm super excited. This is the first time that my company has been able to get in-store distribution for an author. Yay! This is so exciting. So for small publishing houses, it's really small to get your company in the store, but once you're in, you are in. And so I'm super excited just for that opportunity. So not only are you able to purchase Authors Academy books online via Barnes & Nobles, but we also have an opportunity now to do in-store distribution. Michelle is going to be our first author to be able to host a book signing in actual Barnes & Noble store with full distribution. We invite you guys to come out and join us that day. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a party. We are excited. We have a lot of our partners coming to join and take part in this really big moment, not only for Michelle, but for the Authors Academy as well. And so be on the lookout for that. Definitely excited, definitely proud, definitely a big moment, big moment for the company. So feel truly blessed.
Yeah, so we'll definitely share the flyer. She was like, oh my gosh, my phone dropped. We're gonna have to do this over.
We gotta run this back. We gotta run it back. we gotta run it back.
Over. But we gotta be all together. So we're gonna figure out a time to go live. Maybe when we do the book signing. Something.
Yes, let's do that.
Like it's just complications all the way around today, but it is so okay. Like we still going live, making sure we share with you guys all the great things that is going on. 2020 is going to be absolutely amazing. So excited for Michelle. The name of the book is Adopting Courage, and you can find it on Amazon. If you're going to be in Miami, we'll make sure we get that information to you. I'm really strongly considering driving down for that for sure, or whatever. Just want to make sure we support each other. Anything last words, Sierra?
No, that'd be it. Just encouraging everybody to prepare for the holiday, be present and in the moment. I love the post that you put out today about managing your mood. Because I know around the holidays as business owners, sometimes it can get real tricky. But I just want to encourage you guys to just find the happiness in the now and to be present and to love on your family and friends. That's the greatest gift that you can ever give somebody, is your presence. And so try your best to just be present and prepare and manage your mood. Check yourself. You feel yourself getting a little on the downside, give yourself a pick me up and just remember what you do have, and the blessings that you do have. And so I'm just excited to be able to go back home to my family. I miss my babies so much. I hope you guys are preparing for a really great holiday, and just remember the gift that is God. He is the gift, and just prepare. Wishing you guys all a happy holidays and preparing. I hope you guys are preparing for a really great year, and that's about it.
Yes, thank you so much for being on, and we'll be in touch. Have an amazing 2020, and just make sure you, like she said, just take some time to be with your family. Definitely keep our very own Coach Christina and her family in your prayers. They had a loss in their family, and so we're keeping them surrounded in prayer. Enjoy your loved ones. That's the number one thing. Just enjoy your loved ones. So thanks for being on today, ladies. It's 12:55. Share. We'll probably pull this down and do it over another time. But be on the lookout for that. Thank you all for riding out with us today for your CEO Chick Chat, the last one of 2019. That's it. It's no more. So we'll see you next year. All right. All right, Sierra, love you.